What's up, guys? It's Niranad back here with another video, and in today's video, you probably already know by the title, I'm going to be doing my top 10 superstars of the week. Now, this will only count from Monday Night Raw to today, which is Sunday, so it won't be counting Survivor Series. I probably won't count the pay-per-views because I'm going to do this weekly now, but this is my opinions. You can leave your top 10 down in the comments below if you guys want. But let's get to my top 10. So, this is through NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. So, at the number 10 slot, we have the Authors of Pain. I put the Authors of Pain at the number 10 slot because they really had a big moment on Raw when they attacked Kevin Owens. But that's all they kind of really did for me. They didn't really have like a, I don't want to say like they didn't have a big moment, but it's kind of like that's all they did. They didn't really do much to add on to that, so that's why they are at the number 10 slot. At the number 9 slot, we have Asuka, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. I put Asuka at the number 9 slot because she really had a great match against Charlotte. It was a very good match. She did end up winning that match with the mist when she spit it in Charlotte's face. So that really was a standout moment for me, and so that's why she's at the number 9 slot. Let's look back at the list. Number 8, we have the New Day. We have the New Day at the number 8 slot because they did defend their titles in an amazing match. It was a pretty impressive match. And they were really good. I'm glad that they celebrated 5 years in the WWE. But that's all they really did for me. And I hope that they could have maybe another 5 years to make it 10 years. A whole decade of the New Day. But that's why they made it to the number 8 slot. At the number 7 slot, we have Keith Lee when he pushed Adam Cole into the crowd. That moment was absolutely crazy, and it was incredible, and that's why he is at the number 7 slot. And he had an impressive match when he teamed up with Dominic Dijakovic against the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So that was a pretty impressive match, even though they ended in defeat. But that's why he deserves the number 7 slot. Now on to our next two. We have Roman Reigns as the number 6 slot. Yeah, the number 6 slot. Roman had a pretty good match. It was a pretty long but good match against Robert Roode. And the moment that really surprised me is what he did after, when he took out Baron Corbin, when he took out Dolph Ziggler, and when he absolutely demolished Robert Roode, when he first speared him through the, what do you call it, like the announcer's booth, and then he flipped over the commentator's desk onto Robert Roode, so that is why he is this high on the list. Now we move on to the number 5, the top 5. We're going to start it off with The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. You guys might be wondering, why is The Fiend at the number 5 and not higher? He did not have a match. He did call out Daniel Bryan, and he did take Daniel Bryan under the ring, but that's all he really did. He didn't have like I said, he didn't have a match. So he didn't really do much for me. Maybe leading on to the weeks of TLC, he might be higher. But what really stood out for me was The Fiend's Custom Championship, which is going for, I think, like $6,000 or $1,000. I don't know. It's between that range. I forgot which one it was. I think it was 1,000. I don't think it would be 6,000. But that is really high for the championship belt. I don't think anybody's gonna buy that unless they really are a fan of The Fiend. But that was a really outstanding moment for me. let's look at the next. Okay, next two, we have at the number 4 slot, we have Kevin Owens. If you guys didn't know by the shirt, I'm doing my Kevin Owens War Games and Kevin Owens NXT shirt, which he used to wear. But Kevin Owens is at the number 4 slot. He did have a really good match against Seth Rollins, but he did get attacked by Seth Rollins and the Authors of Pain. But what really stood out and why he deserves to be this high on the list is that he actually was like the only person that actually went against Seth Rollins and what Seth Rollins was saying on Monday Night Raw to the Raw roster. So that's why Kevin Owens, I should say, Kevin Owens is this high on the list. And maybe he could be higher because we all know that I think Kevin Owens has to have a push sometimes in the future. Next up, we have Finn Balor, or what does he do, like this? I forgot which way he does it. But we have Finn Balor at the number 3 slot. He did have an impressive match against Tommaso Ciampa. And what he did after was why he deserves to be this high on the list. Because he was like going buddy with Adam Cole, but then he did the Pele kick to Adam Cole, and maybe he's next in line for the NXT Championship, and maybe he could win the NXT Championship back and be a 2-time NXT Champion. But I don't know. We'll find out more next week. But that's why he is at number 3. Who's next on the list? We have Rey Mysterio at the number 2 slot because Rey Mysterio did end up winning the United States Championship. And that was pretty impressive. Not only did he win the United States Championship against AJ Styles, but he went through a grueling fatal 4-way with Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton to be the number 1 contender. And his match was literally right after. And he has just been impressive this week. Even though I'm not really counting it, I have to say also because of what he did at Survivor Series when he almost won the WWE Championship. But that's why Rey Mysterio is at the number 2 slot. And before we get to the number 1, I have to say some honorable mentions. We have Robert Roode for that amazing match with Roman Reigns. We have Aleister Black for attacking Buddy Murphy after his match. Lacey Evans for giving that woman's right to Sasha Banks and maybe being the new number 1 contender. Alexa Bliss for making her return after like 2 months hiatus with her shoulder injury, if you guys didn't know. And we had the number 1, the returning Sheamus, who is returning very soon. I was surprised, and he's with his old look with the spiky hair, which is pretty cool, and I'd like to see that Sheamus back from like 2012. And at the number 1 spot, we have the Architect, Seth Rollins. Seth is at number 1, not only from his match with Kevin Owens, but with his kind of pipe bomb on the Raw roster, and I think he is going to turn heel maybe next week, or should I say tomorrow, or maybe sometime in the future. But Seth Rollins, I think, was number 1 and outstanding for this week's top 10. Well, that's my top 10. As I said, leave your top 10 in the comments below if you guys want to. It has been a very good week in WWE, and I wonder how next week is gonna do. Well, that's my video for you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, champs.